Do you have a heater like this that has a bad element or not working? Then I'm going to show you how to fix it. First thing you got to do is take these 3 screws on each side. 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. On both sides, that makes 6, and then 2 up here at the top. 1 here, 1 here. Then you can see these little spots here, little slots. Slide it back, and then once, see, it normally is in this position. Once slide it back like that, that releases all 4 of these on each side. There's 4 of them. Releases it, and this piece comes off, and then the sides come off. Okay, then you got the low heat, which gives power when you're on low, and then when you're on high, it gives power on low and high. It just basically energizes. It gives it voltage here and voltage here when it's on high. If it's on low, it just energizes that one. Okay, there's your brown. That's your positive side, and that's your neutral side. Blue is your neutral. Basically, your white's where it comes in from the wall. And here's where these are all the same. It don't matter which one you tie it to. These are all going to be neutral. And then you got this. Should be your 2 elements that you have on low. 60 volts. 1 element. So when you put the 2 together, that gives you 120, 700 watts. But on high, it's on 1500 watts. But these heaters really shouldn't be run on 1500. I think 750 is just fine, because the heat exchangers are kind of small. You know, you really want this area to heat up a little bit. And I have it blanked off, but you don't have to blank yours off. It's not necessary. If you got 4 elements here and one of them went bad on you, just took 2 of them up. Okay, let me show you the other side. Okay, basically it's just wire nutted together here. I'm not sure if you could just use a regular wire nut. That would be at your own discretion whether you think that would work. But you can pinch this off, and it'll kind of open it up a little bit, and then you pull this off. And then when you put it back on, just pinch it back on real good. That's how you diagnose whether it has a bad element, is if that wire, see how that wire came out. So I know that element's bad. It has to be changed. But like I said before, it had 4 elements. That was with high. And I blanked it off. You don't have to do that. This is high temperature silicone. I did mine this way and ran on low, because when I bought this heater, I bought a bunch of them, and it had broken glass on the elements. So I just took them out. I didn't want the broken glass in there. So, and then I ran this way for 3 or 4 years, and then this element went out. But one of these elements was still good, so I saved it. That's the one I just showed you, and now I'm gonna put it in place for this one. But all you need is 2 elements. Just to recap, you need 2 of these heaters. Okay, and the short end here, like I got it. I don't think it matters which side you hook them up. Anyway, the short end, that's where they get wire netted together. The longer end, which is what I have here, this long end, that hooks somewhere on the heater. And then your low side, that would hook. I mean, that even though it's brown here and it was red on the other one, that was probably because it was a high on that at one time. That's just the element that came off here. It really don't. The colors don't matter. All that matters is you got a positive and a negative. I don't know if it really matters on which side they get hooked up. I don't think it really matters, as long as you got one that goes to or neutral, whatever, negative, whatever you want to call it, negatives. These are all negatives. And your heater may be different, but use your common sense. Make sure you turn the power off. Don't touch things that are electric or electrified already. Here's one other thing I will mention. These are regulator or relays. They're called relays. So when you turn it on, that one is for the motor. It'll energize that wire right there. When it's on low, this one will be energized. When it's on high, this one will be energized. If that relay ever goes out, here's another thing you can do. You can take your positive side of this. It doesn't matter if it's red or brown, because the other one I just showed you was red. See, that one's red. It doesn't matter. Okay, and hook it to the high side. You can hook it. If that relay goes out where it won't work on, if it does not energize this anymore, sometimes them relays will go out. So you got elements that can go bad, you got relays that can go bad. If that one does not energize anymore, you can put it on this high side, but then you have to run your heater on high. But you just don't have this one hooked up anymore. You just won't have that side hooked up anymore. And there's two terminals here. I don't know why that is. It doesn't matter. This one only has one terminal. Don't know why. It doesn't really matter. But it wasn't hooked up. This one was hooked up, but I disconnected it. But if that relay ever goes out, you can use this relay. All it does is give 120 volts here or 120 volts here. It depends on what's on low or high. If it's on low, it's on this one. If it's on high, it's this one and this one. Pretty easy to understand. Again, you don't have to blank this off like I did. It's not a big deal. It is easier to get the element out right here because I done block this off, and I got to take a lot more screws out to get this metal out of my way. Probably should have done it here. You can leave all 4 elements here in here. It does not make a difference, just as long as you hook 2 elements up. That's all you gotta do. Don't hook 4. Make sure that 2 elements hook on one side. Not sure where that will work, but this is what they had, so I tried to use factory. And if you ever want to test one, just pull on the wire a little bit. Just pull a little bit. See that? Don't get crazy with it, but just pull a little bit, not much. See, that element's still good. That element went back because I barely pulled it and it came right out. You can repair these elements, but maybe I'll do that on a different video. But usually they don't last. So it's easier just to have a new element. Just pick 2 of the 4 and wire it on this side and hook your positive and your negative on the other side. Again, that's your positive. Put it on low. That's your negative. This is the white that comes in from the wall. And these all tie together, every one of them. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. Y'all have a good day.